What awaits us after our final breath? Does our essence simply vanish into nothingness, or does it embark on an extraordinary journey through realms beyond our wildest dreams? Welcome, soul traveler, to a profound expedition into the mysteries of existence. Today, we delve deep into one of the most captivating and enigmatic texts in Tibetan Buddhism, the Bardo Thodol, more commonly known in the West as the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Picture a guide that accompanies you through the most intense and mysterious moments of existence, mapping the intricate path that begins the very moment our physical form ceases. Prepare yourself as we step boldly through this mystical portal, decipher its hidden messages, and gain an enriched understanding of what it means to truly exist. The Bardo Thodol is not merely a book, it is a spiritual masterpiece born from the mind and heart of the legendary Padmasambhava. Revered as the precious master, Padmasambhava was a towering figure in Tibetan Buddhism, credited with the monumental task of transmitting Buddhist teachings to Tibet during the 8th century. His influence was not limited to religious instruction alone. He was a mystic, a yogi who had mastered profound mystical techniques and secret esoteric teachings. His life was dedicated to bridging the gap between the seen and unseen, offering solace to both the living and the departed. Padmasambhava's journey began in a time when Tibet was a land steeped in shamanic practices and animist beliefs. The indigenous Tibetans, guided by ancient Bon traditions, worshipped local deities and spirits that seemed to permeate every aspect of life. Into this spiritual tapestry arrived Padmasambhava, whose wisdom and magical prowess enabled him to not only introduce Buddhism but also to integrate these age-old local traditions. With a mastery of tantric rituals and mystical rites, he tamed the wild energies of the region, blending them into a unified spiritual system. This synthesis created a resilient foundation for Tibetan Buddhism, a tradition that recognizes death not as an end, but as a transition to higher realms of understanding and liberation. Invited to Tibet by King Trisong Detsen, a ruler determined to establish Buddhism as the unifying force of his kingdom, Padmasambhava faced both resistance and wonder. The local spiritual forces, though initially antagonistic, eventually found themselves woven into the very fabric of the new belief system through his profound insight and compassion. It was during this period of intense cultural convergence that Tibet's first Buddhist monastery, the Sami Monastery, was established, a beacon of spiritual learning and practice. Here, under the guidance of Padmasambhava, countless seekers embarked on the journey of self-discovery, learning that the boundaries between life and death are not as rigid as they may seem. In the Tibetan worldview, death is not the terminal point of existence but a crucial transition, an opportunity to step beyond the confines of ordinary reality and glimpse the infinite. At the very moment of death, the mind is liberated from the distractions of the physical body, entering a unique state where the veil between the material and the spiritual dissolves. Padmasambhava recognized that this fleeting moment, when the mind is at its most vulnerable and receptive, holds the potential for instant liberation if one can perceive its true nature. However, he also understood that most souls are overwhelmed by fear and illusion during this critical juncture. The tumult of unprepared minds, ensnared by attachments and conditioned responses, often leads to a misinterpretation of the experiences that unfold. To address this, Padmasambhava composed the Bardo Thodol, a guide to be recited at the time of death or studied during one's lifetime. This sacred text prepares the mind to navigate the various bardos, the transitional states that lie beyond physical demise, offering a lifeline to those who wish to transcend the cycle of rebirth. The profound compassion underlying the Bardo Thodol is evident in its clear, step-by-step instructions, designed to ease the suffering of souls and illuminate the path to enlightenment. It is a manual not only for the moment of passing but also for living a life that is attuned to the deeper truths of existence. By embracing these teachings, practitioners can learn to detach from the fleeting illusions of the material world, preparing their minds to recognize the pure, unblemished light that lies beyond. The Bardo Thodol outlines a journey through 3 distinct yet interconnected states, or bardos, that every soul must traverse after death. Each stage offers its own set of challenges, revelations, and opportunities for transformation. 1. The Chai Bardo, the moment of death. At the threshold of death, as the physical body begins to disintegrate, the soul enters the Chai Bardo, a state of profound transition. In this moment, the boundaries between the physical and the spiritual blur. The dissolving of the body is accompanied by the emergence of a dazzling, pristine light. This clear light represents the absolute nature of the mind, a state of pure, unconditional consciousness free from all attachments and fears. For the awakened soul, this clear light is a familiar presence, a reminder of its true essence beyond the confines of the material world. Recognizing this light is key. It offers the possibility of instantaneous liberation, sparing the soul from further wandering through the subsequent bardos. However, for those unprepared, the overwhelming brilliance of the light can evoke fear and confusion. In such cases, the soul may retreat, unable to harness the transformative power that this moment holds. This initial bardo is a critical juncture, a brief but intense period when the soul must decide whether to embrace its true nature or succumb to the familiar clutches of fear and illusion. It is here that the teachings of Padmasambhava serve as a lifeline, urging the mind to remain calm and aware, to recognize that the clear light is nothing more than the reflection of its own eternal essence. 2. The Sidp Bardo, the realm of visions. Following the moment of death, the soul drifts into the Sidp Bardo, the realm where the mind's projections take center stage. In this state, the soul is liberated from the confines of the physical body and enters a dimension where tangible boundaries no longer exist. The Sidp Bardo is a dynamic and multifaceted landscape, populated by vivid visions and illusions that are as diverse as the human experience itself. Here, the mind's inner world is laid bare in a series of powerful visual and emotional manifestations. These projections can appear in two primary forms: peaceful visions and wrathful visions. Peaceful visions. In this phase, the soul is greeted by luminous figures, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and deities radiating gentle, benevolent energy. These serene images are manifestations of the positive qualities cultivated during a lifetime of spiritual practice. They serve as beacons of hope and guidance, reassuring the soul that the possibility of enlightenment is within reach. For those who have nurtured a deep connection with their inner light, these visions are a source of comfort and inspiration. Wrathful visions. In stark contrast, the soul may also encounter wrathful deities, fearsome figures embodying the darker aspects of its own consciousness. These terrifying forms are not external demons but rather expressions of repressed anger, fear, and desire. They arise from the unresolved emotional energies and attachments that continue to bind the soul to the cycle of suffering. When these wrathful visions appear, they challenge the soul to confront its own inner turmoil, urging it to see beyond the illusion of separation and recognize the inherent emptiness within all things. The Sidp Bardo is a realm of intense and vivid experience. Every image, every sensation, is a reflection of the soul's accumulated memories, emotions, and karmic imprints. It is here that the teachings of emptiness, or shunyata, become crucial. By realizing that these visions are transient, empty expressions of the mind, the soul can begin to dissolve its fears and attachments. The clarity with which the mind perceives these projections ultimately determines whether the soul can harness their transformative power or become ensnared in a cycle of despair and confusion. 3. The Sidp Bardo, the path of rebirth. The final stage in this transcendent journey is the Sidp Bardo, the state of rebirth. Here, the soul confronts the pivotal moment of choice, the selection of its next physical form. Every thought, every action, and every emotion from previous lives, what we refer to as karma, acts as a magnet, drawing the soul toward a new existence that mirrors its inner state. In the Sidp Bardo, the intensity of psychic energy reaches its zenith. The desire to cling to life, to experience existence once more, becomes almost irresistible. This state is marked by a dense, almost tangible pressure, a vortex of emotional and karmic forces that compel the soul toward rebirth. The soul, still fresh from the experiences of the Chai and Sidp Bardos, now faces the daunting task of choosing a new beginning. However, there is hope even in this tumultuous state. For those who have diligently practiced detachment and mindfulness during life, the possibility exists to transcend the cycle of rebirth altogether. By recognizing the inherent emptiness in all forms and the transient nature of all projections, the soul may merge with the clear light, achieving a state of ultimate liberation that frees it from the endless cycle of samsara. Padmasambhava's teachings emphasize that this final bardo is not merely a deterministic process governed by fate. Instead, it is a moment of profound opportunity, a chance for the soul to actively choose the path toward its own evolution. Through conscious preparation and spiritual discipline, one can cultivate the clarity and fortitude needed to steer clear of undesirable rebirths and instead embrace the potential for eternal freedom. The expansive vision of the Bardo Thodol extends far beyond the mechanics of death and rebirth. It offers a blueprint for living a life of deep, inner awareness. At its heart, the text is a call to action, a reminder that the journey toward enlightenment begins long before the final breath is taken. Cultivating awareness in daily life. To navigate the bardos successfully, one must first develop a profound understanding of the mind during life. This involves cultivating a state of mindfulness and detachment that allows one to observe the inner workings of thought, emotion, and desire without being overwhelmed by them. Through daily practices such as meditation, self-reflection, and contemplation, individuals can learn to recognize the impermanent nature of their experiences. This awareness serves as a preparatory training ground, conditioning the mind to remain calm and clear during the tumultuous moments of transition after death. The role of meditation and contemplative practices. Meditation is not just a tool for relaxation, it is a transformative practice that unlocks the deeper layers of the self. By regularly engaging in meditation, practitioners develop the ability to remain present and observe their thoughts without judgment. This heightened state of awareness is critical when facing the powerful and often overwhelming visions of the Sidp Bardo. With a well-cultivated practice, the mind becomes adept at recognizing these projections as mere reflections of its own nature, temporary and ultimately empty. Contemplation on impermanence, suffering, and the nature of reality further reinforces this mindset. By internalizing the lessons of shunyata, one learns that every experience, no matter how intense or vivid, is transient. This realization helps to dissolve the fears and attachments that bind the soul to the cycle of rebirth, paving the way for a more liberated state of being. Embracing the duality of visions. One of the most challenging aspects of the journey through the bardos is reconciling the dual nature of the visions that arise. In the Sidp Bardo, the soul encounters both peaceful and wrathful manifestations. Rather than viewing these dualities as opposing forces, the teachings urge us to see them as complementary aspects of the same underlying reality. The peaceful visions symbolize the potential for compassion, wisdom, and inner light, while the wrathful images represent the unresolved emotions and shadows that linger within. By embracing both sides of this duality, the practitioner learns to integrate the full spectrum of their experience. This integration is essential for achieving a state of wholeness, where no part of the self is denied or rejected. It is through this process of inner reconciliation that the soul gains the strength and clarity needed to navigate the final stages of the journey. The transformative power of self-knowledge. At its core, the Bardo Thodol is a call to self-knowledge. It invites us to examine the deepest recesses of our own minds, to confront our fears and illusions, and to emerge with a renewed understanding of our true nature. The text challenges us to look beyond the superficial layers of identity and ego, revealing the timeless, boundless essence that lies within. This is the ultimate promise of the teachings, a promise that through self-exploration and inner work, we can free ourselves from the perpetual cycle of suffering and rebirth. Padmasambhava's vision is clear: death is not a termination but a profound opportunity for transformation. By embracing the teachings contained within the Bardo Thodol, we learn to live our lives with greater awareness, compassion, and purpose. Each moment becomes a chance to cultivate the inner light that, when recognized at the moment of death, can lead us to eternal liberation. The journey through the bardos is intricately linked to the concepts of karma and destiny. In Tibetan Buddhism, every thought, word, and deed leaves an indelible mark on the soul, a subtle imprint that shapes our future experiences. This cosmic ledger of actions and intentions governs not only our lives but also the journey of the soul after death. Karma, the invisible threads of fate. Karma is often misunderstood as a punitive force, but it is, in fact, the natural law of cause and effect. Every action we take sets in motion a chain of events that reverberate throughout our lives and beyond. The energy we accumulate, whether through acts of compassion or expressions of anger, forms the invisible threads that guide our destiny. In the Sidp Bardo, these threads converge, drawing the soul toward a new incarnation that mirrors its inner state. The Bardo Thodol teaches us that while karma influences the course of rebirth, it is not an inescapable sentence. With conscious effort and spiritual discipline, one can alter the karmic imprints and redirect the trajectory of future lives. By cultivating positive qualities and embracing a state of non-attachment, the soul can eventually break free from the cycle of rebirth, merging with the eternal light. Destiny as a dynamic process. Rather than being predetermined, destiny in the context of Tibetan Buddhism is a dynamic interplay between our innate nature and the choices we make. The journey through the bardos is a vivid illustration of this interplay, a process where the soul is given a final opportunity to shape its future. The experiences in the Sidp Bardo, though heavily influenced by past karma, are also moments of potential transformation. At this juncture, the soul faces a powerful choice: to cling to the familiar patterns of the past or to embrace the unknown possibility of liberation. For those who have diligently practiced self-awareness and detachment, the allure of rebirth may lose its grip, paving the way for a transition into a state of pure, unbounded consciousness. In the final analysis, the Bardo Thodol is much more than a guide for the afterlife. It is a timeless invitation to live a life of deeper meaning, self-exploration, and love. It reminds us that our existence is a continuous journey, marked not by a finite end but by an eternal cycle of transformation. The teachings implore us to examine our lives, our desires, and our attachments, urging us to cultivate a love so profound that it resonates beyond the limits of physical existence. How much did you love? This question, posed by the sages, is at the very heart of the spiritual journey. In a world often dominated by material pursuits and transient pleasures, the Bardo Thodol calls us to prioritize what truly matters: the depth of our compassion, the clarity of our awareness, and the unwavering commitment to our inner light. By embracing these timeless teachings, we are not only preparing ourselves for the inevitable transition of death, but are also learning to live with a sense of purpose and passion in every moment. Every act of kindness, every moment of self-reflection, and every gesture of love contributes to the luminous tapestry of our existence. It is this luminous tapestry that, when recognized at the moment of passing, can guide us toward the ultimate state of liberation. As we contemplate the mysteries of the Bardo Thodol, we are invited to step beyond the limitations of language and logic. The experiences described in this sacred text, whether the brilliant clear light of the Chai Bardo, the mesmerizing visions of the Chid Bardo, or the transformative choice of the Sidp Bardo, are phenomena that transcend ordinary description. They reside in a realm where words can only hint at the vastness of the truth. This journey into the unknown is both deeply personal and universally relevant. It calls on each of us to confront our innermost fears, to challenge our most ingrained beliefs, and to awaken to the profound beauty of our own existence. It is a journey that is as much about self-discovery as it is about the mysteries of the cosmos, a journey that ultimately leads to the realization that we are not isolated beings but vibrant threads in the grand tapestry of life. The path to enlightenment is not an easy one. It requires courage, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to uncovering the truth that lies hidden beneath layers of illusion. Yet, as the Bardo Thodol so eloquently teaches, it is precisely in this struggle that we find our greatest opportunities for growth. Each challenge, each moment of uncertainty, is a stepping stone toward a more profound understanding of who we are and what we are capable of becoming. The timeless wisdom of the Bardo Thodol reminds us that death is not the final chapter of our story. It is a transformative pause, a moment of profound possibility where the soul has the chance to reinvent itself. From the fleeting, brilliant moment of the Chai Bardo to the vivid and sometimes daunting visions of the Chid Bardo, and finally, to the decisive juncture of the Sidp Bardo, the journey after death is a rich and dynamic process of self-discovery and renewal. Padma Sambhava's visionary work offers us a map for this journey, a map that is as much about living fully in the present as it is about preparing for the mysteries that lie beyond. It calls us to awaken to our true nature, to embrace the light within, and to live a life of compassion, awareness, and unyielding love. Through this path, we learn that the greatest liberation comes not from escaping death, but from transcending the illusions that bind us to the cycle of rebirth. So, as you continue on your own path of self-discovery, remember this: every moment is a precious opportunity to cultivate your inner light, to deepen your understanding, and to prepare for the ultimate journey that awaits us all. The teachings of the Bardo Thodol are not merely instructions for the afterlife. They are a celebration of life itself, a call to live with passion, authenticity, and boundless love. If this exploration into the unexplored realms of existence resonates with you, share this message, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments below. Together, we can uncover the deepest mysteries of life and death, forging a path toward a future illuminated by wisdom and compassion. Thank you for embarking on this journey with us, and may your path be forever guided by the pure, radiant light of your own true essence.